We'll talk about the experiment, and then we'll talk a little bit about why it happened. So this week's experiment is another, and I'll just turn the volume off because I'm going to be the one doing the talking. So here we go. We have an experiment where I filled a plastic bag with water. I used a Ziploc bag. And then I had some pencil crayons with me. You could have used pencils, maybe in your classroom or at home. So there we go. Plastic bag, nice and full and bulging with water. And then I had those pencil crayons with me. Then I took those pencil crayons and I put them, there they are. And one by one, I put them through the plastic bag. So I used my secondary camera here so we get a nice good view of it. And I wanted you to see there was no tricks going on here. These pencils were actually going through the bag. All right, there goes the first one. As you can see, there is no water pouring all over my desk, which is really good because I have a lot of electronic stuff on my desk. So it's a good thing that the science worked out in this experiment. All right, so as we're watching a few more of those pencil crayons go through the bag, let's talk about why this is happening. So there's a few things at play here. We got to talk a little bit about plastic bags. We got to talk about polymers to understand that this wasn't magic, this was science. So we'll start off by talking about polymers. So polymers are long chains of molecules, and they make up many things that we use every single day, specifically plastic items. So every day, I mean, if you look around your classroom, you look around your home, you're going to find a lot of plastic items. And so polymers, like you find in your Ziploc bags, your plastic baggies, also in grocery store bags, plastic water bottles, soda bottles, food packaging, they're all made of polymers. And polymers are great because they're flexible, they're lightweight, they're leak-proof, and they're cheap to produce. So that's a reason why polymers make up plastics. They have many advantages. So they're kind of like a long chain of beads. So when I took the pencil crayons and I put them through the bag, it pushed those polymers apart. So it went right through the chains of beads. Because they're so flexible, they were immediately able to push back towards the pencil and make a temporary seal around that pencil crayon. So that prevented the water from leaking out those holes and from spilling all over my desk. And then when I took the pencils out later over the sink, all the water poured out because the holes were way too big after the pencil crayons were removed to redo that seal. So polymers, they're long chains, kind of like beads. They are flexible, lightweight, leak-proof, and low cost, which is why we see them in so many plastic items. And that is why when I put the pencils through the bag, they were able to quickly reseal with that flexibility around the pencils, and I did not make a mess on my desk. Now, of course, there's lots of other issues we can think about with plastics and plastic bags, and that is we use far too much single-use plastics. Plastics were developed and meant to be used in items that were supposed to last a really, really long time. But because they were so cheap to produce, we started using them in things that we use once and throw away. But luckily, in different places around the world, we're seeing a move away from plastic bags and straws and single-use bottles, which is great because we know that those usually end up in our ocean in a lot of cases and then can take thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of years to actually degrade into smaller and smaller pieces. They do take a long time to break down.